Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mr. Saucedo's YouTube videos. Today we're going to be talking about molar volume and how to convert between molar volume and moles. So make sure you're following along in your note packets, and then if you have any questions you ask me tomorrow. So molar volume, we've talked about molar mass and how to use that to convert between grams and moles. We've talked about Avogadro's number and how to convert between particles and moles. Now there's one last big concept, and that is called molar volume. So here's something that Avogadro actually did kind of discover. It's that the volume of 1 mole of any gas is defined as 22.4 liters. And that is only true at standard temperature and pressure, which will become extremely important when we talk about gases. We often call this number of 22.4 molar volume because it is the volume of 1 mole of a gas at standard temperature and pressure. And the interesting thing about that number, 22.4, which by the way, you'll need to commit that to memory. So not only is Avogadro's number important, but so is 22.4. The interesting thing is that the molar volume is the same regardless of what gas you choose. So even if I have 1 mole of carbon dioxide, or 1 mole of helium, or 1 mole of oxygen, if I have these all at STP, standard temperature and pressure, if I have a 22.4 volume container of any of these, I have exactly 1 mole of gas. And that is something that is surprising and unique and probably something that you wouldn't think about. Why? Because each one of these gases weighs a different amount, and yet at standard temperature and pressure, I would have exactly 1 mole if I had 22.4 liters of it. And so why is this useful? It's useful because we don't really measure gas by mass, we measure it by volume. And so it's a lot easier for us to use a volume measurement for a gas than to use a gram-based mass. Alright, so let's use this fact to do a couple of conversions. So just like our other problems, I have 2 ways of writing my conversion factor. I have 22.4 liters in 1 mole, or I have 1 mole equaling 22.4 liters. And so I'm either going to have to use this, or I'm going to have to use this when I'm doing my conversions. So let's take a look. How many moles are there in the following? Alright, it gives me my answer in liters, and so I want my answer in moles. Which one of these am I going to use? Am I going to use the pink conversion factor, or am I going to be using the blue conversion factor? So the answer there is the blue one. Why? I want moles, so I'd have to have moles on top, and I have 22.4 liters in 1 mole. Why? I want my liters to cancel. Alright, and again, just like I've done for all of these, I'm going to have to erase these conversion factors real quick. So let's see, if you have your calculator, do that out. 156.3 times 1 divided by 22.4. Alright, so how many does that end up being? That ends up being about 6.978 moles. And that would be my answer. Alright? And I can do the same thing for the next one. 10.5 liters. Alright, so again, I want this in moles, so I put that on top. I have liters on the bottom. So when I do 10.5 times 1 divided by 22.4, that is a 2, I get about half. So I get 0.469 moles. Alright, and that is how I would go from liters to moles. Now the next one, instead I'm given moles and I have to get to liters. So if I have 13.40 moles, what am I going to do? I have moles on the bottom because I want those units to cancel, and I have my liters now on top. They're opposites. And so I cross out moles, I end up with liters. So what does that end up being? Well, it's going to be a pretty big number, about 300.2 liters in 13.4 moles. Alright, and so that would be my answer. I'm going to put a box around it. What about a third? So if I have 0.333 moles, so about a third of a mole, how many liters would that end up being? Again, I put my liters on top, I have 1 mole on the bottom, moles crosses out like that, and I end up with about 7.46 liters. And that would be my correct answer for that. So 7.46 liters. So again, if I'm trying to go 2 moles, I divide by my molar volume. On the other hand, if I want to get to liters, I multiply by molar volume. And that's the way that I go and convert between all of these units. So to review all of our types of conversions, if I want to go from grams to moles or moles to grams, I'm going to be using molar mass. Okay, so in some way, shape, or form, I have these two choices. If I'm going from particles to moles or moles to particles, I have these two choices. I can multiply or divide, so I can multiply by either of these conversion factors. And now finally, I have my last missing piece of my conversion factor puzzle, which is if I want to go between moles and liters, these are my two choices. So why are all of these important? What links all of them together? The word mole, all right? Mole and mole conversions are the central unit of all of chemistry. So being able to convert between any unit in moles is pretty much the most basic form of calculation that you'll be doing in this class. How are we supposed to remember all of these conversion factors and whether we're supposed to multiply or divide? Well, luckily you have this map, and this is going to be our primary way of remembering how to convert between different units. So right in the middle, I have Marvin the mole, and so this is called Mole Island. Okay, it is our central unit of all of chemistry. At the top up here, I have Gram Island. In the lower corner here, I have Particle Island. And then over here in the corner, I have Liter Island. Okay? So you can fill all of this in on your note packets. So if I'm going from Mole Island to any other island, I'm going to be multiplying. Okay? So that means in every single one of these, if I have an arrow going away from moles, I'm going to be multiplying. On the other hand, if I am going to Mole Island, if I have a direct flight directly to moles, I'm going to be dividing. Okay? Now, what am I going to be multiplying or dividing by? Well, if I'm over here in Particle Island, okay, I use Avogadro's number as my conversion here. All right? So I use 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. That's how I would get between these two units. On the other hand, if I'm over here on Liter Island, okay, so if I'm all the way over here somewhere, right on Liter Island, I'm going to use molar volume, 22.4 liters. If I am somewhere on Gram Island, I'm going to be using molar mass. Okay? And so if you ever forget, just follow the map. If I'm going to Mole Island, I am dividing by something. If I'm going away from Mole Island, I'm multiplying by something. Then I just have to remember, what am I multiplying by? Well, luckily, we only have 3 different things. We have Avogadro's number, we have molar volume, and we have molar mass. All right? And so if you have any questions, make sure you bring them tomorrow. But this is our map, and we're going to be using it tomorrow because we've done one-step conversions. Okay? But as you'll find out tomorrow, we can do 2-step conversions.